We go live.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Tonight is the regularly scheduled Finance Committee meeting. It is June 2nd, 2025, and it is 5:15. Members of the committee present tonight are Councilor Duff, Councilor Tremble, Councilor Dean, and Councilor Fournier. We are also joined at the table by with Councilor Leonard and Councilor Mallard, and myself, Councilor Fish, Chair. We are joined by the city manager, Courtney O'Donnell. And we start the agenda tonight with bids and purchasing.
Yes, thank you. The first item on the agenda is a maintenance pickup for sewer. This was put out to bid and 5 were received back, between $67,566 for the high and $48,039 for the low. This was a budgeted replacement vehicle, and so staff recommends awarding to the low bidder of Darlings at $48,039.
Any questions? Councilor Fournier?
Second.
Any conversation? Councilor Bed?
Just had a question about the budget amount and the amount of the award, or just both of them the same number. Is it just coincidence, or?
If I had to guess, that there's sufficient funds in the capital, so that's why it's the same exact amount.
Okay.
But I can look specifically and get back to you on that.
And this will be on next council meeting.
Actually, this does not require council approval. It's below the threshold.
Okay. Next, we have floor drains.
Yes, these are for floor drain work at Central Fire. So they are original to the building, which is about 50 years old, and due to the condition they're in, they're starting to create safety concerns. As they're a trip hazard, and of course, they're no longer properly draining. So an RFP was put out and 4 bids were received between 45,000 and 570,000. And before you ask, we do not know why $570,000 was bid. All we know is it's astronomical, and certainly well over and above the funds that we have. So we do recommend awarding to the low bidder Heinz Ground Services of Winterport in the amount of 45,000.
Motion.
I have one question. I know that's a ridiculous figure, but is the floor itself in decent condition? Did they perhaps see something more than drains? Do we know if there's something else that might?
Deputy Fire Chief Pelletier is gonna come up.
Good evening. Nope, the floors themselves are in pretty good shape, no problems that way. It's just the metal of the drain over time is started to rust and force the grates up. And that's also chipped away at some of the floor. So it's been patched a couple times around the drains,
Mhm.
but it's to the point now where it's causing a safety issue. So it's just the drain itself. The scope of the work involves cutting along the side of the drains to retaper that pitch to drain water away and to fill in some of the drains that we don't need. Some of the drains go the whole length of the bay and we don't need that anymore. So that's essentially the scope of the work.
Councilor Fournier?
And we have a history with Heinz. I don't know.
So that's a new company that we've worked with. However, we're not, the owner of the company does work for us, so we know him well that way. So, yep.
It was a sealed bid process, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, right. No, that's.
Yeah.
Staff recommendation. Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have a waived bid process.
Yeah, this is for fuel farm painting, or I should say fuel farm tank painting, at the airport. And so, I'm gonna give it a shot, but the airport director's here just in case you guys have questions. And so, those tanks, of course, they can hold approximately 3.5 million gallons of fuel. And to preserve the integrity, it's recommended that they be repainted every 10 years. We're a little bit behind, as the last time it was done was in June 2011. It is pretty specialized work in terms of like a lot of factors that have to be taken into account to make sure that it's properly done to or for the integrity of the tanks themselves. And so just due to the quotes that we got ranging from 61,470 to 185,000. We would like to get this work done this summer if we can, and so therefore the staff ask is to formally waive the bid process and award to the low bidder, West Virginia Paint LLC, in the amount of 61,470, which I would just add is about $1,400 over what was budgeted for this, so it was definitely the closest in terms of the funding available as well.
Move to approve staff recommendation. Second.
Did you have, Counselor?
I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm curious, we've known this was coming up in 10 years' time.
Mhm.
Why did we pick these three companies to call? Is this what generally is done with the airport industry? I mean, it seems like we had time to call these, we had time to put a bid out, we've had 10 years to do it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if it's the council's desire to not allow us to award the bid, we would go through the RFP process. It would just push the work out. I believe these ones were called because of the specialized work and they do that sort of industrial type painting.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not inferring that it should be done, but the point being, you've had 10 years, it seems like we could have gone out for a bid in a 10-year time period.
Yeah, that's a valid
We've
point.
had too many of these suspend the rules for bidding. That's all.
Heard.
Any other comments, questions? And lastly, we have, chip seal pavement preservation.
Yeah, so this last one, a bid was put out for this. Only one was received, which wasn't really surprising because this is pretty specialized work. And there's not a whole lot of competition here in Maine. And so we are recommending to award to the bidder, All States Construction of Richmond, Maine, in the amount of $112,262. And the Public Works Director is here if you want to learn about chip seal.
Counselor?
I don't have a question on the ceiling, just with just one bid, is this the range you were expecting to get for pricing?
Sorry, Public Works Director Aaron Hootery joining the table.
Yes, this was very much in the range that we were expecting. We have not done chip seal in a long time, but I talked with a lot of other public works directors in the state and about chip seal prices as compared to regular paving, but also specifically about All States Construction after we received their bid, just to make sure that they were a good provider.
All right, so while you're here, I'll ask a question. So
Yeah.
I am familiar with we usually do the rubberized stuff that fills in the cracks. What's the chip sealing stuff?
No, so that's crack sealing.
Right.
This is chip sealing. This is an overlay which will seal
Oh, okay.
those cracks, but also put a wearing course over the top.
Okay.
And this is less than the price it would cost us to put a shim over the top. And it has at worst 5-year, but at the longest 10-year lifespan. So it can really extend the life of the road with a much lower cost.
So it actually, is it pavement?
Yeah, they will put down a tack coat and then put a rock base over it and let that seal and harden and then sweep up all the loose material. And it leaves a fairly rough road, but smooths down pretty quickly and really does extend the life of the pavement. It's part of our renewed effort to extend the life of pavement instead of just keep replacing over and over.
Counselor Pelletier?
There's a big difference between the budget amount and the award amount here.
That's our full paving budget.
Okay,
So these roads might have gotten a shim, which would have been more expensive. This allows us to stretch our pavement budget a lot.
yeah, I just want
So
to know
this
what
is,
happens to the other $1.3 million.
well, we've already started downtown, so.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
So move. Second.
Any other conversation, questions?
Yes, is this for this, what budget year is this for?
This is part of the FY 25 budget, which is now on a calendar year cycle, so the
Right.
calendar year 25. So we hope to get a contract in place this week before I leave and have them on the calendar for July, if all goes well.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Thank you. We are adjourned at